Hi. It's Monday morning and first Monday of February. I thought I'd just do a little update. I guess it's been about maybe 2 weeks since I ended my relationship with Substack. It was emotional, it's been this Mars retrograde, and I have a lot of Mars ruled planets, and I've just been processing a lot of what I call simmering rage. Just, areas of my life where I feel that I have overgiven. So a lot of things have just sort of been, changing as a result of the ways that I'm changing. Definitely felt a strong shift with the year of the snake coming on. And, did a little ritual that day that it was like a before and after. It was like I went literally from living in this little bed to just moving upstairs to the big bed, which was supposed to be rented but hasn't been rented. It's just been sitting there. It's like I just literally outgrew this bed that day. So I don't really know what's going on. I definitely feel like I'm starting to wrap up my time here. Just because my creative energy has been a little blocked in terms of my performing, which is, I think, the fullest expression of what I do. I'm a visual artist first. That was my first training. I love exploring and using visual symbolic language, and think it's a important part of what I'm here to do and to share. But and also writing, and particularly stories, telling stories, and but also the reason I started performing after college when I got a painting degree was because I wanted to be it. I just wanted to be the art. I was like, it's not enough. It's embodiment. So I do that in my life, but through performance, it's kind of like a more distilled and concentrated form of it. And it's a hard place to get to when you're worried about where you're going to live. It's I think this is why the old world, tried so hard to keep us just in survival mode all the time. So we couldn't really access that imaginative power, which is freedom, which brings us to more freedom because we're living in more free ways. And by freedom, I really just mean self-expression without holding back. And, it's hard to find people like that. And the more that I feel the sort of veils dropping, the harder it is to find people that are living that way. Like I've chosen to do, and it's been really challenging. So just giving you an update about it. So I left Substack angry, and just the way it went from being a writing platform to being just social media. And I felt like their use of AI also just wasn't working in my benefit, because I don't make sense to AI, because I'm an outlier and need to be, because I'm an artist. But that makes it hard to find an audience, especially if most people are online. But I was just like, no, I'd rather be more in the real world. And, the one thing that I've retained is YouTube right now. And so I'm trying to use it a little bit more judiciously right now and choose my words carefully about what I want to share about my life, because also I felt that I was probably oversharing some things and undersharing others, and it wasn't making me feel good. And that was the ultimate thing, is that I felt like I was putting a lot out and not getting a lot back, and that it's very easy for people to consume ideas. And I feel as if my ideas have been consumed, but not processed or integrated. And that's like the next part of it. And to me, it's kind of like, well, what's the point of even sharing ideas or talking at all if it's not actually creating any noticeable difference in the world? And that, what people do with it, I've always said, I'm just here hatching my creative eggs, raising my creative babies, and you send them out in the world and hope that they do the best that they can, and you try to be the best parent that you can, but ultimately they have a life of their own. And what sort of captures their imagination for a time, and why, it's like, this is the big mystery, so it's not my job to worry really about how it's landing, but it is my job to tailor and shape it and make changes if I feel like it's not, if the baby's not on the rails, like, so yeah, so it's been hard just sort of being like, okay, like I said what I needed to say, and sort of like explaining how the sausage is made for artists, which is what I do, and I do it through a spiritual, magical, creative lens. And I'm learning more about I don't want to say boundaries, like this is the popular word, right? And it's not boundaries. It is self-respect, and it is a respect for my own work, and a protection of it. I've said many times, that I've felt like my creative ideas have been stolen many times, and I have yet to benefit from it. Like, I've been diligently just working and keeping my head down and focused on the work, and just had faith that it would eventually provide for me a very nice living. And but that can't happen if the rug's kind of always pulled out from under. And especially when people are very unconscious and they're doing it unconsciously, just taking in images or other people's visual ideas without really understanding where they come from, the discipline required for me to bring them out, and how the sausage is made, like it's not just like, I know I make it look really fun and easy because my work is colorful and fun, and is ultimately about delight and wonder and, joy. So I know it's like these things are very undervalued and misunderstood. So it's like I have to always like have a lot of patience and compassion, because that's just the world that we came into, and it hasn't worked for me, like maybe ever. And I've been just I just took the detour and have been out trying to make my own way for a long time. So, but you can't do it alone, you do need other people. So these have been some of my frustrations, and so that led up to me leaving Substack. And after 3 years of writing fairly regularly, and I had a small paying membership side, mystery school side, where I did share more of my personal life, because I stopped doing that online. I quit social media. I've quit Amazon. I'm in the process of untangling from Spotify. And each of these things, it's hard. I do talk about this openly because I get to this point, and I think many people are there or have been there, and they're like, oh, I can't, I have to be there for X, Y, and Z. And these are stories we tell ourselves. And so I was like, I don't believe that's true, so I'm going to choose something else. But each time it's a loss. There's a sadness, there's a grieving, there's a feeling of loneliness and more isolation. And this is the discipline that I'm talking about, of having faith and doing it anyway, and seeing what happens, seeing what comes in to fill the space. So the good news is that what has filled that space in the last 2 weeks is a lot of painting. the first thing I have been working on is I wanted to thank the members of my Substack. The few members, like 14 to 16, some of them were gifted, but I still count their time and attention as the same, equal to the paying people. So I wanted to thank them by sending them some art. And, you know, I also am working on a design for a t-shirt I want to print for the Year of the Snake. So I've been painting just snakes like every day, sometimes all day, and it's been really great. So I thought I'd share some of them with you. And yeah, I'll probably include one of these in an episode soon, but so this is the first one. I kind of worked on this image a bunch, and there were different incarnations of it, but this is a really nice line drawing of it. It's nice because it looks like the old skin is kind of like the Matrix, huh? So I like that one. And then I wanted to do a color version, and this just got like wild and crazy. Sometimes I tend to overwork things, and I'm working on that, like just doing enough. You know, that's hard. Oh, looks pretty cool, huh? Yeah. And this one's really nice. I feel like this, if I do any kind of like poll or anything about what should be a t-shirt, I feel like this might be one. A nod to my burlesque career, my burlesque side of my work. See, she's got her pasties and one garter on. And then she takes it off. And then we've got this one back here. I needed to add a tongue, so this is the base coat for the tongue, so it'll go in there later, and it'll be outlined like this. That's why it looks kind of fat and weird. But I love working with super saturated watercolor and just kind of, you know, it's a deliberate mess. I made these kind of spiral. I was thinking of the rings of trees, like the wood snake year. And yeah, so that one was fun. And then we've got some of the newer ones, which I'm really enjoying. I did a couple on black backgrounds. It's kind of very decorative one. She looks good. But it's a lot of back and forth with getting those little details. I don't have all my paints and stuff here, so I'm working with stuff that was either here or just given to me. And then I had, this was like total angel inspired. I was like, what else could I do for the wood snake? And then this came out. This one started like this. The roots and the spiral upwards, kind of like the Kundalini snake. And you can see some of the details of the painting. Gotta put the eyes in properly, and then this one's done. And then I'll finish this one similarly. And then I started priming this one. This one, I was watching a video of Story Crow. He's like an English storyteller. And he was hiking along this trail called the Ridgeway. And there's this really cool map in it of like, doot, 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 doot. And then it turned into a snake. And I couldn't remember how he did it in the video, but I just did my own version from memory. And so I was going to put little stars along here and planting little star seeds in this is like sky, earth, or water. So, yeah, this one I'm working on, and that's going well. And also I got my little Ralphie fleece on. I'm so excited because I had a big red sleepy fleece. It's pretty cold in this house. It's a big old house, and it's just me here, so keep it pretty cold. So sleeping at night, I had this big like maroon red. It was like a large, so it was really big on me. It was like hammer pants on the bottom and just a lot of fabric to deal with, to the point that like when I had to like unzip it, you know, it's cold at night and stuff, and then it was so much fabric like down there, I would sometimes pee on it and then have to take it off and be like totally screwed, and that was really annoying. Anyway, I was very happy because I saw this. It was like brand new at the thrift store, and I didn't have money for it the day that I was there, or I had other things I needed more. And I was like, okay, if it's back, if it's still there, when I go back, I'm totally gonna get it. And I'm so glad, because although this sort of like, it looks like, what's the Sanrio little bunny, like Hello Kitty's bunny friend, not totally like my absolute style, you know. I'm not always like a pastel kind of person. I'm sort of more Technicolor, but the design of it is so great. And the thing that sold me on it, aside from it just being brand new and pink, was, look, heart-shaped pockets, you guys. Heart-shaped pockets. And not only that, but there's a butt flap. Do you see that? How great is this? I mean, and it's like the perfect height, like for my hand. Like I just reach down and there it is. Like there's my butt cheek. It's so convenient. And it's like there's never fabric down there, so don't ever pee on it. It's fantastic. And it fits like just perfectly. Like, oh, I can't believe it. So anyway, it's been great. The other thing that's been going on is I've been experimenting with Ayurvedic and historical hair care things. One of the things I wanted to work on this year, I don't really like resolutions. I kind of more like take an oath, renew my spiritual vows, and choose a theme. And one of the themes I chose for this year, partly because you know, I turned 50 this year, and I feel very blessed to look very youthful, which I do maintain, and I do think it's an inside job, and I work on my health a great deal, naturally, using just, you know, food and herbs and natural things, and I have for a long time. And also, you know, I'm a Libra rising, and so the planet that rules your rising sign is called your chart ruler, so it kind of like is a dominant energy, type of energy. And so Venus rules Libra. So I'm very Venusian, you know, I'm very like feminine, really into like sensuality, beauty, all the things for the senses. And so I chose for my theme this year for 2025 to be beauty. You know, to experience more beauty and to put more beauty out into the world. And I always say that everything is an inside job, so I have to start with myself, of course, looking at the ways that I feel beautiful, which always comes back to my health. When I'm healthy and fit, I feel beautiful. So it's kind of a recommitment to those practices and that discipline, which has been going well. I've definitely been back at my yoga practice, just at least 15 minutes a day, even if it's just in the evening. So that's been very good. And also I wanted to look at, so this is hair color from May, I guess. And so I want to switch over to henna and experiment with henna. And so in the process of that, I was like watching these historical hair care videos and caught wind of the no poo, no shampoo movement, which I guess was popular, it sounds like during COVID or something. But, you know, just where you give your hair either a permanent or temporary break from all the chemicals and stuff in shampoo. And I have so much hair too. It's like a lot of shampoo and conditioner that I was using. And then also, you know, the historical hair care videos were interesting because they were, you know, all the things about turn your hair over and brush it 100 times with a boar bristle brush particularly. and sleeping with it up. I mean, some of these things I already did because I have long hair and it's just practical, but also like why and how and different ways of thinking about it. And also with Ayurveda, there's all these like different warm hair oils that you could make. And so I've been experimenting with that stuff, but then also not using shampoo. So I've had some learning curves with like doing oil treatments or masks and then not being able to wash it out because I'm not using any detergenty things. I'm just using baking soda to wash it, and then apple cider vinegar to kind of seal it and reclose the follicles afterwards. And you dilute it. I'm only using about 2 tablespoons in like a spray bottle this big, cold water. And so I'll spray it and then rinse and spray and rinse and spray and rinse and then dump it all on. And then with the apple cider vinegar, I use a bowl, and so I dunk it and soak it and massage it through and rinse a couple times and then pour it over cold water also. And then I'll rinse it again, and then I'll at the end pour cold water over my whole head. And I used to do that in LA too because the water was really hard on my hair. And so I would buy spring water, and I could do 4 like bowlfuls, like to rinse my hair at the end of my showers out of 1 gallon of spring water. And it just always felt so good too, like the cold water on your scalp and things. So I'm about a month into it. And so I washed my hair last night. And, you know, just doing like finger combing it, like at that stage. So not like with a comb and all that. And then when it's dry, I can use the boar bristle brush again and style it or curl it or do whatever I want. But anyway, I'm just sort of reporting on that it's going pretty well, that I do feel my hair changing. It was feeling a little like stiff. Like, I think just I don't know if the apple cider vinegar and stuff was just kind of like stripping all this stuff off, but now I feel like it's kind of like relaxing into this new state, new process. And yeah, so I'm just playing around with that and seeing how it goes. But this is like a month without shampoo. So there we have it. I think that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and Happy Year of the Snake. In Bulk was the other day. I was listening to a lot of stories about Bridget, and my friend brought me some water from Bridget's well in Ireland. So I have that out, and I said a proper farewell to the dragon year. Such a great dragon year. I learned so much about dragons last year. I still am, and I was just like, don't go, don't go. And they're like, we're never gone, we're always here. I was like, oh great, okay. Phew. So that's good. And okay, I'm gonna go paint. Bye.